Hello, boys and girls, lords, ladies, and gentlemen. This is, of course, the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time. I do apologise for not getting a video out yesterday, but sometimes in one's personal life one can have much more important things to be dealing with. Anyway, I was given a request to do a video on the subject of pathworking exercises. Basically, what are they about, and what are the characteristics of a pathworking exercise? Well, it's a bit of a pretentious name, shall we say, for something which is rather commonsensical and comparatively normal, namely a meditation with creative visualization. The thing that defines the pathworking exercise is the fact that there is normally a journey, alright? Normally walking from place A to place B, and then something is supposed to happen in place B, and then you kind of like walk back. The characteristics of the experience are very close to a semi-conscious, semi-awake astral projection type experience. But you don't visualize your spirit body separating from your physical body. What you do is you visualize the journey. There's usually a moment at the beginning of the pathworking exercise whereby you visualize all of the room where you're sitting and doing your meditation in disintegrating or dissolving into a white or a creamy mist. Often a bluish yellow color is used in the visualization because that symbolizes either Mercury, for those who believe in that particular interpretation, or it represents the astral energy itself, because a bluish yellow hue is what's supposed to be the color of the spirit light when you actually do a full-blown astral projection. Usually this light then fades away and you find yourself at the beginning of your path. Now the path itself could be stepping stones, it could be a country path, it could be an alleyway. Remember, different people choose different subjects for their pathworking exercise based upon either the religions that they're a part of, or the mythologies that they believe in, or indeed in some cases the science fiction that they enjoy the most. That's why some forms of pathworking exercise are based upon Star Trek or maybe the Lord of the Rings. But to the most part, it's quite plain and boring because, well, the kind of thing that I would tend to use would be a country path leading up to a large door. In a lot of the stuff which I used to read on subjects, the kind of door that would be chosen for you to go through into the place whereby things were supposed to be happening would be like an old church door. You know, rather gnarled or weathered oak, steel studs on the door itself, slightly pointed top, and maybe a large iron ring to turn and open, something really atmospheric like that. Anything that helps you to have the suspension of disbelief that you require to be able to make sure your pathworking exercise can in fact be that magical and apparently seemingly spiritual in terms of feeling. So give it a go. Think about what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to get yourself thinking in a certain way? Then have symbols associated with that within the pathworking itself. Okay? Instead of a door, you might choose, let's say, a velvet curtain with a symbol or an emblem embroidered upon it. This type of visualization was recommended by D. Jason Cooper, I think it was, in his book on runes. And it was recommended that you have the right color for the back cloth that you associate with the rune itself, and the right color embroidery for the symbol itself, and then you part the curtain and then go through and see what there is to see. You tend to visualize your body in just the same way that it is in your normal waking state. But you might have chosen different forms of clothing or armor, which is part of what you're trying to connect with. Maybe if you were using the Star Wars saga as the mythology which you mainly connect with because you've, I don't know, seen all the films, read all the books, have collected all the memorabilia, and you're rather obsessed by it, maybe you want to consider yourself to be dressed in a stormtrooper's armor. Okay? Or maybe if you're more like Lord of the Rings orientated, maybe you want to see yourself dressed like a hobbit, or dressed like Gandalf or Sauron or whatever, when going about to do your tasks. If you're considering yourself to be in the role of a magician, then having a staff with a glowing crystal on the end of it would probably sort of add to the atmosphere. Obviously, this is total fantasy. Yes, it is, but it's total fantasy that can lead to the potential, if you're creative enough and you've thought hard enough about all the other techniques that were within, like, as it were, the magical armory, to try and attempt to create the strange experiences that I've spoken about, including spirit contacts. Some people use pathworking as a means of creating and working in a visualized or astral temple, a place where they can actually do their meditation, or a place where they can do religious exercises or attempt to communicate with spirit entity beings. So this is a little more of an all-embracing technique, which is just based upon you sitting or resting or lying down in a comfortable meditation position. When you come out of your path working, it's normally recommended that you come out the way you went in. So you walk back along the same path, you go through the same doorway or through the same velvet curtains, back to the other side, and then you banish everything through visualizing everything disintegrating into the same white mist. And then, of course, the white mist then fades away to reveal the room in which you are normally sitting or lying down or whatever when you're doing your meditation exercise. It can be quite curious, and at the end of a pathworking exercise, it can feel like you've been on a real journey. Although when you're doing it, you might think this is a bit silly. I'm just sitting down here and visualizing something. When you come out of it, then and only then do you realize how deep you went into it. Okay, and that's with the lighter stages. And in the deeper stages, you actually go into something much closer to a lucid dream in your waking state. And it's a good way of practicing and training yourself in lucid dreaming type exercises. So that's just something else to play with and experiment with. Bid you good fortune, God bless, keep cool, chill out, don't let the bed bugs bite, and I'll speak to you again soon.